So I have this problem where I can hardly stick to anything for very long, but occasionally when I do, I see really good results, like being able to sing or play pretty much any song on the guitar, or growing my coaching business to 20 grand per month off of nothing but a single weekly podcast episode. I've noticed that when I really succeed at something, I've been following what I now call the 2-year rule. In this video, I'll share what the 2-year rule is and how you can use it to make sure that you have a much higher chance of getting results from all the projects and the endeavors that you decide to take on. So the list of things that I've started and stopped is a mile long, and it includes things like rock climbing, weightlifting, meditating, having a morning routine, starting different coaching programs, following their model for a little bit, and then stopping. Like when I ran YouTube ads for a year and then decided to trash it completely, writing regular emails to my list, mountain biking, frisbee golf, and doing yoga. And there's a big downside to continuing to start and then stop things over and over, and that's that I never really get to that point where I'm seeing much results from my actions. Like I spend all this time learning the thing, and then I'm in that beginner phase where I'm awkward and I don't really know what I'm doing. And then just when I start to get out of that phase, I lose interest and I decide that the grass is greener and I must switch to whatever new thing I've found, because surely that's going to be the more aligned path for me long term, blah, blah, blah. I'm so good at selling myself this BS lie over and over, and I've done this repeatedly, but I'm finally starting to see the light. And I even just recently joined a new coaching program by Ali Abdaal on how to grow a YouTube channel. And ironically, Ali's formula for succeeding on YouTube boils down to this. You create a valuable video and you post it on YouTube at least once per week, and you continue to do that every week for 2 years. And when he said the 2 years part, it made me think of the guys in my martial arts gym. Yes, martial arts, my latest fitness craze. Anyways, there's a rank in jiu-jitsu called blue belt, or in Muay Thai, there is a blue shirt. Now, when you get to that blue rank, that's when you're generally perceived to be a badass. Like, oh, he's a blue belt? Hell yeah, that's awesome. And guess how long it takes to get the rank of blue belt or blue shirt? 2 years. So then I started to think about other areas of my life where I've gotten great results, like when I grew my real estate coaching business to over 20 grand per month. It all started with me doing a weekly podcast about how to buy rental properties, and I did that podcast for about 3 years before I stopped it. And what happened at right around that 2-year mark is I started to get inbound leads for my coaching program. Without even asking for it, people would reach out and be like, I love your podcast. I've been listening to it for like a year now. I feel like I know you, and please tell me how we can work together. And it almost felt like I was cheating that I was making that much money off of just posting a weekly podcast episode. It didn't even take me that much time to do, but the key is that I did it consistently for at least 2 years. And the rental properties that I've bought and held for probably 7 or 8 years have appreciated over 7 figures in value, which is another example of how things pay off when you really stick with it for the long term. And the top investment in my life that has paid off the most is my marriage to my wife. We've been together for a total of 12 years now, and over the last 2 years, we've had the pleasure of having our first child, a cute little girl named Everly. She's 2 now, and she is the center of my world. And I was just thinking about how that is really me getting to experience the compounding returns of time that I put into our marriage, is that I now get to be a father and have a family. But you don't really have to stick with something for 10 or 12 years to see a payoff. However, I am starting to suspect that there's something in life like a 2-year rule, where it takes about 2 years of consistent effort towards whatever endeavor you're going after to really start to see the rewards. And I invite you to pause now and think about your own life, and think about the best things you have in your life and the things you've succeeded at the most, and ask whether or not it was something that you stuck with for 2 years or longer. From now on, whenever I decide to commit to something new, I'm gonna ask myself, Brian, can you honestly commit to this for at least 2 years? Because if the answer is no, then I really have to ask whether it is worth starting at all. Now, as a caveat, it's obviously fine to try new things for a few weeks or a month just to see if you like it in the first place. Otherwise, you would never really know what types of things you might want to stick with in the long term. I know what I'm gonna try to do is make that decision more quickly in the future. Like I might try something for a couple weeks, and then if I'm just not getting a good feeling from it and I don't think I can commit to it for 2 years, I'll probably just go ahead and scrap it. So here's what I'm committing to for the next 2 years. feel free to hold me accountable or call me out if I stop. I'm going to publish one YouTube video per week, every single week for the next 2 years. You'll be able to see whether or not I keep my commitment, and I want you to hold me to that. And if there's something that you feel like you want to commit to for the next 2 years, once you're really sure about that, go ahead and post it in the comments down below, make it public, and I promise I will hold you accountable to that as well. If you like this video, I have another one that you might like where I share the top 3 things that I now know as a 38-year-old that I really wish I knew in my 20s. Check this video out to learn what those are, and thank you guys for watching.